Okay, what's happening, YouTube? It is Trev. It's update time. Earlier this morning, like very early this morning, we had a sprint planning meeting basically every other Friday, which is the end of the actual sprint. They do like a recap or review to let everybody know what exactly was accomplished during that sprint, what's going to be carried forth to the next sprint, whatever, right? So I'm going to run through some things with you. I've got some information. I've got some things that really need to be paid attention to. So I don't know how long this is going to be. I'll try to keep it as succinct as possible, but you have to watch the whole thing. Okay, so let me try to bring up let's do this. And do this, and there we are. All right, so you're familiar with this because I show it all the time when we do these updates. This is the backlog and what is used by the team to decide, what process we are with the certain things that need to be taken care of, right? So you've got a lot of stuff in progress. And again, I'm not going to go through every single one of these things. Anybody can go to this GitHub and anybody can look at it. You can click on everything and check out whatever you want to check out, right? But we've got a lot of stuff in progress. At a certain point, right, once these things in progress are basically completed, they need to be reviewed. They need to be reviewed by the whole team. Everybody has to sign off on them. And so then those things go into the in review column, all right? Once they've gone through, everyone has reviewed them. There's like maybe 4 people or whatever that have to review them. Once that's done and everybody signs off on it, goes to the done column, right? So, okay. So what came up is basically that we are, halfway through the sprints of Q1. This will be the end of it and the start of the next one coming up. But they're more than halfway through the workload. If you see me looking down, I took copious notes on this so I could try to get you as much information as possible. Okay, so in the done column, I kind of skipped around. Now let me go to the in review column, all right? The in review column, we had, let me go back up to the top here, the Binance burn wallet, okay? And that is in review right now because even though that we've got the 3 proposals that are, and I can go right to it, right? The 3 proposals that are up for governance right now. Oh, Terra Classic's what I want to do. And being voted on. Okay. 1358, 1359, and 11360. These are the 3 different, 2 of them have to do with Binance and how Binance wants to handle this burn wallet situation. And the other one has to do with the burn tax split, right? But we have they're doing really well. They're almost at quorum. They're overwhelmingly being passed, and that's all well and good. But there are some things that need to be worked out. I guess between the team or Ed and Binance or whatever, the specifics about exactly how this stuff is going to work. Some questions as to whether or not it can be done this way or that way or whatever. But ultimately, if it passes governance, it will be done. That way, we're ready for that big burn from Binance in March, right? Okay. Let me see. Moving on. Okay, the update, the IBC Go. This is something that is still kind of in the process of being reviewed or whatever. It's apparently a very big thing to do, right? And it requires a lot of testing. And it's in the testing phase right now, but it's like an overwhelming amount of testing that needs to be done. So some certain members of the team are kind of getting together to kind of put together a process where maybe more of them can work on the testing to get this together, because this is something that's actually crucial and goes into some other things that need to get done as far as like the upgrades and stuff like that for the chain, right? And it's a big security thing. Okay. Let me see. All right. So the update of the proto. Where is that one here? Yeah, the fixed update of the proto. So again, like I said, you've got a certain amount of people that need to basically sign off on these things. So this one is pretty much ready to go. It already has 3 approvals. Till is the last one that hasn't had an opportunity to approve it yet, and he's supposed to be looking at it today, get that approved, and if he signs off on it, then that'll move into the done column, okay? And then this one, this core 129, this was something that basically was moved here today, something that's being worked on. And again, you can click on it and read up on it and whatever, right? Again, just go through the list. These are the different things. I don't need to go into crazy detail about them because they're there and you can take your time to do it yourself. In the done column, there's a few different things. Update the Docker assets. One of the big things that I wanted to bring up about this done column, if I can find it, was, let me see, where is it? There was an issue with it. The Columbus 5. Did I pass it? I'm sorry, my eyes are just not what they used to be. So let me start back at the top. And I'm looking for the Columbus 5 governance proposal. There's a lot of stuff in the done column. Oh, it's way down here. That's why. Okay. So this test Columbus 5 Genesis import and sync. This is something that we talked about like a few updates ago. And they were basically trying to sync the chain from Genesis. But there was an issue where some people thought that you could do it. But then as it ran for a while, sometimes it would crash, right? So a bunch of them basically were running this test on their machines or whatever, and they ran it for a certain amount of time. Well, it's in the done section now because they've all run the test and they have successfully synced the chain from Genesis, okay? That might not mean anything to a lot of people who are looking at this update right now, but it means something to like the validators and people who know what that is. That's an important one. So, okay. All right. Again, take your time and peek through all that stuff. After we went through all that and they moved all the little stuff around, right? They went into a roundtable kind of discussion of everybody saying what it is that they're actually doing today. Because again, today being the end of this particular sprint. Everybody had some things to say. A lot of it really wasn't important or anything that really needs to be relayed to you. But when Ed stepped up and he was the first one to kind of talk about what he was doing today, he brought up some really important things. And I took some notes on it and I want to let you know about that. Okay, so the 1.1.0 release should be happening again. All these things are passed, right? These governance proposals are all passed. That means that we can actually put up the 1.1.0 release for vote, right? Assuming that passes, that will be implemented on the 28th, okay? This is, all validators should already understand this, but if you don't understand this, you need to pay attention to this. This is a chain halting event, okay? So goes up for vote on the 21st. If it's passed on the 28th, as soon as it's passed, it halts the chain, okay? So the validators will need to immediately implement this upgrade. And the chain cannot restart and will not restart until at least 2/3 of the voting power is restored. So 2/3 of the voting power within the validators is restored, then the chain will restart. So it's imperative that they jump right on this, okay? And I say they because I can talk directly to them and they understand that, they need to jump right on this. But I'm also talking to those who are delegated, right? You need to stay on your validators, know what they're doing, okay? We cannot afford to play around with this. If this passes governance, they need to get it up. They need to get it implemented immediately because the chain will not restart until they do. Now, they can't implement the binary ahead of time, right? Let me read through this real quick. So what you can do to prepare as a validator, if you want to really get on this as fast as possible, you can download the new repository version and start to build the new binary, right? So as soon as the chain halt starts, you can go ahead and start your new binary, right? You cannot do it before the halt, right? You can't implement it then. You have to actually wait for the halt, and then if you've already got it ready to go, implement it. From what I understand, it's not something that takes a lot of time. But if you want to, like I said, just get it done ASAP, that's something that you can do. If you wait to prepare it until the halt, I guess that's okay too, because it doesn't take a lot of time, again, to get it done, but it's all about how prepared you want to be to just get this moving, right? So that's something that's very important. And again, if we get to that point and your validator has not implemented this new repository, right? This new binary, they could be potentially holding up the chain from restarting. So everyone needs to pay attention to this. Okay, that's all well and done and good. What else did we have? Okay, one of the last things that actually came up was that after Jacob Gadikian left the team, there was some money that would have been paid out to him and to the team and to his team as we went on, but that money became freed up. Okay, the team is talking about different ways to allocate that money and what they feel it needs to go to. There are some hardware issues that are being addressed, which we got to keep everybody with functioning and adequate hardware to do the coding and the different things that they're doing. So those things are being addressed. There are some additional hours that people are putting in and some extra work that they're putting in that they didn't really anticipate. So there's talk about, can some of that money be allocated to compensation for that? There were some people on the team who really weren't paid anything at all, actually gave up their payment in order to, be allocated in some other ways, and, can they be compensated now? So they're talking about all those things, figuring out the best way to do it, and then that'll be presented to the community once they figure out how they actually want to implement that. Okay, so look forward to that. Now, I asked, let me see where I was. I asked some questions at the end, and I wanted to know about the COSM-WASM, exactly when that upgrade was going to take place. And that was told to me that there's two kind of sections of that, okay? Right now we're at 0.16.6, and there is what they call a minor bump up to 0.16.7, and that will be done somewhere in March, right? So by the, before the end of Q1, that will be done. But the actual 1.1.0, the big upgrade, that won't happen until Q2. And I didn't get an exact date when in Q2, beginning, middle, end of Q2, I don't know. But it will be Q2 before that is done. Zaradar was not, he wasn't able to make the meeting this morning, but he did, it's recorded, and he did listen to it, and he actually got back to me with some stuff because he heard my questions, because I was also asking about parity, how close we are, because this was a question that came from the community often to me. So I wanted to try to ask that question for you. As far as parity with V2, as we reach parity with V2, it's understood that DApps that are working on V2, Luna, the section, right, that they can come over and they can also work on Terra Classic, right, which will bring utility, and it's all around favorable for everybody and everything, right? Couple things that I need to point out to you. I'm sorry, I'm talking real fast because I really don't want this to take too long. Couple of things I want to point out. First off, let's see. What Zaradar said was the COSM-WASM upgrade will drop after 2.0.0. And the 2.0.0 will will contain the Cosmos 0.45 point whatever, right, upgrade, and the Tendermint 0.34.26 upgrade, which will bring us closer to parity with V2. And that won't happen again until Q2. Now, bring us closer to parity. Here's a distinction that some people don't understand, and I guess really needs to be understood. We can never reach absolute parity with V2 because of our burn tax, okay? So we can get all of the software absolutely even with what they're doing and bring that up to make that easier for any DApps to be able to come over. But before they can come over and work on the Terra Classic chain, they have to make adjustments to their smart contracts to compensate for our burn tax. Now, most of the guys say that's not really a big deal for them to do. It's not that difficult for them to do. Maybe not, right? But I would suppose it's going to be up to the actual DApp as to whether they even want to go through, even if it's an easy thing to do, whether they want to go through it, whether they want to deal with our burn tax, right? So we'll see. But there is no clear just jumping across the line and just implementing your application over here without making some modifications first. Again, I don't think a lot of people understood that. I know I didn't really understand that until it was brought up, and then I was like, okay, all right, that makes sense. So I wanted to point that out to you as well. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for the update. If anybody has questions, please leave comments in the comment section. As you can see, I take your questions and I try to bring it to the guys, get answers for you, and if I get answers, I get them right back to you. That's really what I'm trying my best to do for you. So leave comments in the comment section. On the way out, if you could if you want to like the video, that helps the YouTube algorithm to push it out to more people so that more of the community actually sees and gets these updates. Okay. I have, and I'll just go to this real quick. I don't know if I can go to it real quick. Yeah, I think I can. Oh, it's over. Maybe I can't. Anyway, subscribers on my YouTube channel, I'm at like 2003, something like that, right? Always wanted to get to 2000. I mean, really, it's not a lot. It's not a lot. And I'm not complaining about the number. I'm just saying that this information that I'm getting out to you, I think is very important information, and we need to get it out to as much of the community as possible. So the more subscribers, the better as far as that goes. But at this point, I'm not even going to ask anybody to subscribe subscribe if you want to subscribe, okay? But there are some things that we can do to help get this information out. So share the video, like the video. If you're not subscribed and want to subscribe, the more subscribers, the more times, the more people will actually get the information. All right, I'm going to leave it at that. And I have some other things to talk to you about probably in some other videos. So I will chat with y'all later. All right, ciao.